choices make sense within the parameters that you're creating. And one of the things I was saying recently is my favorite thing about TV villains is that they are logical. Real life villains are not logical. They just hate, and they want to spread their hate, and they do it in whatever way that they want to do it. And that it's yucky and messy and gross. And that's what happens. But villains on TV are like, here's a poetry to what I have to do. That's what's going on. And it's because we are creating poetry. We're writing stories to show something in a larger sense. So movies are never really going to show anything real. And while, yes, I am very pro the idea that there be more old people in movies, and I think it's happening, I think to a certain extent, a lot of the things are opening up. There's a lot of characters and actors that like are much older that are like still working or getting like really juicy, meaty roles. There's like that whole writers festival that like Meryl Streep started for like women over 40. Like there's a lot of stuff going into putting more of that out there. But again, we're never going to see any real sex scenes because real is not what actually happens, I think, in movies.
I mean, honestly, like, there's no real reason to even, like, say that, like, old people sex can be hot. Like, that can't be a guarantee. Like, there's a possibility that there is no old sex that is hot to look at, you know, like,
I don't think any real sex is good to look at.
Oh no, it's not. It really is not.
It's never.
But there's
pretty.
There's this like undeserved sort of confidence to it as like when you're young and you just feel like what you're doing. I feel like by the time you're old and you're having sex, that it's not about like trying to be sexy while doing it. I feel like it's more just like, you know, it's like, you gotta get it out. You gotta get the poison out.
I think I think the older you get, like you were talking earlier about how you care about what people think of you, and I do to a certain extent. I do have, you know, my own little like, why don't people like me? Why are, you know, I don't have enough friends, blah blah blah. But I don't care about the art. I'll do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I will thank you if you say you enjoy it. But if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Well, try again next time. It's always different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to keep trying, you keep trying. How about that? You know?
I entirely get that. I feel like the difference for me is I've recognized that I actually have an unhealthy need to try to my response, or like any thought that I have like in improv, like my response starts off the bottom of the barrel as far as like acceptable shit to say. Like my brain immediately goes to like offensive first. Like I'm just like, because there's nothing that shocks me. An effort in my life is to be unoffendable, I guess. Like I try not to get offended. It seems like a waste of emotion and energy and stuff. Not to say that it's not, because I have been offended, and that shit's terrifying sometimes. But I don't know. So like I start there, knowing full well that I can't say that. So I always have to like kind of climb back up out of this like pit of like, I don't know, just vibe, I guess. You know,
I don't know. I feel like that's every day as a human. Your base desires are clawing at you. Eat this, fuck that. And then you try to make the right decisions.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Yes But Why podcast.